Carpe Omnia, seize everything. Earlier this week, the American football team, the Dallas Cowboys, released their slogan and theme for the 2023 season. The words Carpe Omnia, a Latin phrase meaning seize everything, around the images of a Sikh warrior, and players were pictured wearing hoodies and t-shirts, and those words around the image of the Sikh warrior, and that warrior was the great general Sardar Hari Singh Nalwa. So, who was Hari Singh Nalwa? Well, Hari Singh Nalwa was one of the greatest generals to have ever lived. He was a God-loving man of faith and strong determination and unwavering will. He was a man of action and a pillar of the Sikh kingdom, a conqueror throughout life. On any campaign he was sent by the Maharaja, he was successful. He was a daredevil and an utter terror for the enemy, filling them with dread. But he was strong and humble for his soldiers, from whom they learned compassion, courage, strength and inspiration. Hari Singh Nalwa had never tasted defeat his whole life. It was him who helped Maharaja Ranjit Singh expand and consolidate the Sikh Empire, which extended from Satluj to Kabul, including Afghanistan. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh once told Hari Singh Nalwa, to rule a kingdom, it is essential to have men like you, men who are relentless and determined and cannot be stopped. Hari Singh Nalwa's father and grandfather were also great Sikh warriors. In fact, Hari Singh Nalwa's grandfather, Hardas Singh, was a Shaheed. He was martyred fighting against the tyrannical, fanatic Ahmad Shah Abdali during the Vadda Kalukara, the Great Sikh Holocaust, in 1762, where between 30,000 and 50,000 Sikh men, women and children were massacred in a matter of days. And when Hari Singh just turned 7 years old, his father dies. And this is a heartbreaking moment in the young warrior's life. His mother, Dharam Kaur, raises him, educating him well in many languages, and his uncles train him in the art of warfare, horse riding and diplomacy. Hari Singh becomes an absolute savage wrestler, and he proves this at the age of 11 when he travels to Lahore to take part in a grappling competition put on by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who himself was just 22 years old at the time. Here the Maharaja witnesses the young Hari Singh tear through 3 fully grown men, experienced and accomplished, tough wrestlers in the army at the time. But the young Hari Singh manhandles them, outskilling them with relative ease, one after the other. This greatly impresses Maharaja Ranjit Singh, whom approaches the young warrior to recruit him. The enthusiastic Hari Singh is delighted and he accepts the offer. And he tells Ranjit Singh how their grandfathers Hardas Singh and Jarat Singh were close friends and fought side by side in the Great Sikh Holocaust, the Vadda Kalukara. Maharaja Ranjit Singh is greatly impressed and admires Hari Singh's lineage and his desire to serve in the Sikh army. And from that day on, Hari Singh serves as a warrior in the Sikh army, always fighting on the front line, and as time goes on he becomes close friends with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh is greatly captivated by Hari Singh's courage and valour and ability to keep cool under pressure, signs he will go on to be a great general. One day, in 1807, when Hari Singh is just 15 years old, he's accompanying the Maharaja on a hunting expedition in the thick jungle forests when a vicious wild tiger attacks. The hunting party is attacked, and without delay, Hari Singh jumps forward and defends the king, putting his own body on the line. He ends up in a tussle with the tiger and he wrestles it to the ground, eventually killing it with his own sword. And as the young warrior Hari Singh stands there, victorious over the dead corpse of the animal, dripping in tiger blood, wiping the blood from his face, the rest of the hunting party look on in astonishment. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh shouts out, "Vah, mera Nalwa, Vah," meaning bravo, mera Nalwa. And this is in reference and comparison to King Nal from the Mahabharata, because it's said that King Nal as a child killed a tiger, saving his father. And from there on, the young warrior would go on to be known as Hari Singh Nalwa. The legend was born. Hari Singh would go on to prove himself time and time again, conquering hostile territories and liberating the people, ruthlessly fighting in many battles, leading from the front, putting his body on the line. And this is demonstrated in the Battle of Multan, where Hari Singh is badly burnt, leading a siege on the great fort. Hari Singh was not only a general and a warrior, but also a governor and humanitarian. He would control his enemies with an iron fist, but he was also the most humane and humble of leaders. Hari Singh abolished slavery across the kingdom, where it was prevalent prior to the establishment of the Sikh Raj. It was abolished by Baba Hari Singh. He not only built Gurdwara Sikh places of worship, but also mosques and mandars for the Muslim and Hindus, and he treated them all as one. Nobody went hungry or was without shelter or clothing while Hari Singh was the governor. Nor did this happen anywhere in the Sikh kingdom under Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Hari Singh was a man of devout faith, and he had intense love for Sikhi, and he was loyal to the teachings of the Sikh Gurus. He had much affection for the poor and needy, always looking out for them, and he always used to love listening to Gurbani and Kirtan. Once Maharaja Ranjit Singh sent Hari Singh Nalwa with 10,000 rupees as the state's donation to Darbar Sahib, and on the way, Hari Singh came across a poor man skillfully performing Kirtan, devotional hymns of the Guru with intense love and affection. Hari Singh was so enchanted and engrossed in listening to this Kirtan that he gave the entire amount of money to this poor man, and later he donated that full amount to Darbar Sahib from his own pocket. Now, going back to the Dallas Cowboys and their slogan for this season, Carpe Omnia, seize everything. You know what? This is a good slogan for all of us. We should seize everything. We should seize every moment we have in our lives, every moment to show compassion, love and forgiveness, every moment we have to help others and do seva, every moment we have to worship and remember God.
That is the only thing that you must connect with, is a remembrance that we're all here. This is the one chance that we have to connect with life. Thank you, that's a great question. I like the fact that the question has been phrased around connectedness, and the way that I would help to answer the question of how do we stay connected whilst we're having a busy life, while we got so many other duties and responsibilities, is I would ask you to think about, what are you connecting to? And instinctively, from all of the religious training that we've had over the span of our lifetime, we've always been taught that we're being connected to something else, something that's far away, some God-like being. I like to call that character Mr. God. You know, the old man with a white beard sitting in the clouds. But the truth of the matter is, that is not what you're connecting to. And what I love about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's wisdom is that he's teaching us that within everything that you interact with in life is a beautiful essence, is something that connects all of us together. The Shabad that springs to mind for those of you that are familiar with verses in the Nitnem, in Anand Sahib, the Guru teaches us, "Eh vis sansar tum dekhde, eh har ka roop hai, har roop nadri aya." And what that translates to is the world that you see, that is the body of God, that is the form of God. And you must see that God as everything around you, the subtle essence that is in all of us. So when you start to say that I need to connect with God while I'm keeping myself busy with other things, that's where you've split your thinking. That other thinking is essentially what is called duality, that you don't know that life is God. So you're not connecting to something far away. What you're recognizing is that you are already connected. And that is the only thing that you must connect with, is a remembrance that we're all here. This is the one chance that we have to connect with life. So what I would encourage everyone to do is, rather than looking for something else called God, it is changing your perspective about how you see the everyday life all around you. There's a beautiful story that I was taught many years ago, and it was about an old meditative Swami who was very hungry and very poor, and he was sitting on the side of a road and he was meditating. And a rich man comes along and he throws him a piece of bread. The old meditative man took that bread and fed it to a dog, a stray dog that was on the road. The rich man who threw the bread started laughing and saying, "Look how foolish you are. You're hungry. I've given you some food, and you've just given that food to a stray dog." And the old meditative man said, "God is feeding God, and God is laughing at God." And what I love about this story is that it really gets you to understand that right now, in this very moment, you are looking at God. God is talking to God. God is listening to God. So there isn't something else that you're connecting to. This is what Guru Nanak's powerful message of oneness really means. It is already here. The only problem is that you haven't got the ability to see it right now. And with the Guru's guidance, we start to train our way to see life in a different way. And so you're not connecting with something else. You are already connected. Just change your perspective and all of life will change around you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to school. As you start this new school year, I want to take a few minutes to talk with you about what comes next for you after high school. As you all know, the harder you work in your classes this year, the more opportunities you'll have to go to college and get the education you need to be who you want to be and build the life you want to live. And that matters not just for your future, but for the future of our country and our world. The fact is, we need you. We need you out there fighting injustices and curing diseases. We need you building businesses, leading communities, and preparing the next generation of kids for the challenges they'll face. And to do all that, you're going to need the best education possible. So today, I'm asking you to commit to continuing your education past high school. And I want you to go to bettermakeroom.org, where you can make an I will statement, a statement that tells the world exactly what you're going to do to reach higher this year. Every single one of you has something to offer, something that only you can bring to this world. And I can't wait to see what you all achieve in the months and years ahead. Thanks so much and have a great year.
Before anything, let's bow our heads and pray a teacher's prayer. Dear Lord, so far today I've done all right. I haven't gossiped nor lost my temper. I haven't even criticized or moaned. I haven't been snappy, nasty, grumpy, selfish, or overindulgent. But in a few minutes, Lord, my students will enter my classroom, and I'm going to need your help. Amen. Are you ready? Sir Ernest Shackleton, before his famous expedition to Antarctica, wrote an ad for the newspaper. The ad read, "Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger. Safe return doubtful. Honor and recognition in case of success. When I looked at that ad, I'm like, with the exception of honor and recognition in case of success, you could run the exact same advertisement for a public school teaching position nowadays. I mean, let's face it, folks, class sizes, they're getting larger, students, they're getting rowdier, and they are cutting budgets left and right throughout these United States. The question I always ask teachers is, are you a Friday teacher or are you a Monday teacher?